Now you'll see these configuration in some cases, like in a line, and you'll see a cross brace. And that's generally done if you're going to pull on both ends. Now when I set this up, I was thinking about hanging the gate on that post, in which case it would be wanting to turn the post down that way, which would be pulling that post that way, which would need this brace wire. Now I'm actually pulling the fence this way, so that needs that brace wire. Well, there I was, sweating, tired, been fencing all day, should have quit. Going to get one more pass through the garden, one more notch deeper. She pulls out of my hand and excitement takes over. Well, not really excitement, momentum, because sweaty hand grip, she jumps right through, and $108 later I've got myself an exciting little project. Retrofit this 1987 Troy built with a new Tecumseh carburetor. I understand this one is a non-adjustable model. Probably won't be too terribly bad to work with. See, in an ideal world, all we have is 4 screws and reconnected linkage, a little adjustment. But if this was an ideal world, I wouldn't have hit the flipping post with the carburetor as she jumped through the hole. There we are installed. It took what, I don't know, 15 minutes. I didn't really time myself. I'm in no hurry. It's kind of cool. It looked like it's going to rain, so I wasn't sweating or having to fight my bifocals. And you know what? They told me a story. This is exactly like the other carburetor and is adjustable. Now I didn't have to adjust it and put gas in it, hooked it up, put gas in it, reconnected linkage, pulled it twice, she started right up. So it works pretty good. I think I put that about half. Field fencing, horse fencing, cattle fencing all have different characteristics. Do you see how that wire is tied at the bottom? Generally that's to try to keep critters from crawling under it. That's often called field fencing. There's a horse fencing where they're very tight together vertically. The vertical stays are close together, and that's often called a no climb, because the horse can't put his little footsies up in the little pieces there horizontally. That's a no climb. They also have just the plain cattle fences, in which case they're all maybe like 4x4 square there. Now you don't want to put your fence wire, your bottom rail wire, directly on the ground, because one, you can't weed eat up under it, and two, it'll rust it out. But rabbits can crawl under it, and that's why that little wire right there, that little hot wire, is placed kind of low like that, because he's going to run up there, hop up there, walk up there, however you want to say it, and he's going to put his little head up there to crawl underneath that wire. And what he does, he's going to get a little tingle that's going to tell him, no, Mr. Rabbit, we don't want you crawling under there to get to those little green goodies. Now, will this effectively keep deer out? We're going to find out this year, because we got a bunch of them come through the house, yard, neighborhood. Now what did I do along the back? Well, it was an existing fence, so this isn't super fancy, but I scabbed another T-post in behind and kind of spaced out. It's just holding up that barbed wire. I will show you something that I'm not real proud of, but it kind of works on the wooden post. Now you can't tell because the grass is kind of around that. Now we've got a little bit of dirt settled in on top, but there's concrete around there, so there's only so far down I can go with that T-post. I got a drill motor and I screwed in some outdoor exterior screws. We got the bottom kind of pinged in there, screwed in up top. A little bit of brace wire, not too pretty but functional. Come on up. A couple of screws and some brace wire. And we have our little corner. And when I pulled this wire here, this 3-strand, I didn't try to pull it real tight. I just want to kind of bluff the deer, discourage them from jumping. Now the garden spot itself is not very big, and deer don't like to get hemmed in, so I'm hoping they won't want to go in there and find out what it's all about. Again, time will tell. A T-post. T-post, or get their name because they're shaped like a T. They got those little knots in the front which help the wires stay where you put them. Keep it from sliding down like that. They don't know if it's 100% true, like it's the word of the Almighty, but as a general rule, it seems to be that the industry paints the lighter gauge ones green and the heavier gauge ones red. They're generally available in 2 strings or 2 poundage per foot, and these pretty well much are green. They're the lesser expensive ones, and you can still get the red ones if you try hard. A lot of places don't carry them anymore because they cost more money, and people just assume buy the green ones as the red ones. Your wood posts come in a couple of different types. One is pressure treated, got the yellow or green kind of color to it. This, what used to look kind of blackish looking, that's a creosote. They're soaked or covered in creosote, and that's supposed to help protect them. I don't believe the creosote stands up as well as the pressure treated. They're a little cheaper. You'll see some people will go ahead and trim the tops at an angle as a holdover from the old days. The belief system is that if you trim the tops at an angle, the rain will kind of shed off of them a little bit better. Now, I don't have everything you need to run an electric fence here, but I do have some of the extra stuff left over from when I was done, and I'll tell you what this is. This is, of course, your fence wire. I use 14 gauge galvanized steel. It's strong and it's not very expensive. They have a smaller gauge that you often use, but it's a little bit lighter, and when you look at what your cost per foot is, you might as well get the bigger stuff. Crimping sleeves. These are what you think they are. Just slide right over the wire and then you crimp them down. You can actually use this joint right here in your fencing hammer to do the squeezing with it. Worked pretty good. At least I found it works pretty good. In insulators, here's a kind of a cheap, get a bag at 10, 25 or 50, I don't know what they are. They're not very expensive. Look, but they're also not as strong as, say, the ceramic one right here. These $1.50 a piece. These are a lot cheaper than that. This is for all these right here for wood. This is a little short nail-on insulator, a little stubby. Here's basically a 2-inch. So I use kind of this one and this T-post 2-inch together, and I use that little stubby here and this little stubby T-post here together. And these are for the front. You see they got the little flat spot here, a little flat spot here. Now this one is a reverse T-post, and I use this along the back row on the inside. Well, I told you I was going to put a pole in, cedar pole, trim that back a little bit so I don't have anything around it. Allow for a little drip loop, come over here, run down the house to the brick, and we got the fence done just in time because the backyard has evidence in the mud of these would-be pilferers not too far away from the garden.